A woman spent 13 days in prison for a crash that killed 3 people she did not cause. The headline reads like a tragedy of bad luck or a single broken gear in the justice machine. But this outcome was never an accident. It is a signal sent by state power to test its own authority and enforce public order through fear rather than truth. By watching, you will see why some systems correct errors while others double down on them based on their survival incentives. The case of the wrong woman jailed for 13 days forces us to look past the individual tragedy and examine the architecture of accountability itself. In a system built on rule of law, an error like this triggers immediate correction because legitimacy depends on accuracy. The state admits fault, compensates the victim, and reforms the process. But in systems where authority relies more on control than consent, admitting a mistake is often seen as weakness that invites further challenges to power. This creates a structural incentive to maintain the conviction even when facts are clear. Consider how different states manage uncertainty. Research into traffic engineering reveals that optimal enforcement involves mixed strategies of uncertainty to manage speed violations effectively. When authorities operate with perfect transparency and predictable outcomes, compliance drops because actors adapt their behavior to exploit loopholes. The system thrives on a degree of unpredictability where the cost of violation is high but not guaranteed for every infraction. This creates a game-theoretic environment where drivers adjust based on perceived risk rather than absolute certainty. Now apply that same logic to judicial outcomes in contested political environments. When the state faces pressure from public outrage over a fatal crash, it must choose between correcting an error and maintaining its narrative of competence. In rule of law states, the incentive structure rewards correction because long-term legitimacy is built on trust. The cost of releasing a wrongfully convicted person is weighed against the risk to institutional credibility if they remain imprisoned while facts emerge later. Quick resource note. I keep a curated set of Amazon search links in the description for books, gear, and tools relevant to this channel's topics. Some are affiliate links, so I may earn a commission at no extra cost to you. Please consider supporting the channel by using those links if you find something useful. In contrast, systems that lean toward authoritarian control often view admission of error as an existential threat. If one conviction can be proven false, what does that say about every other case? It opens a door for broader challenges to state authority. The incentive then shifts from truth-seeking to order maintenance. Keeping the woman in jail becomes a strategic calculation where the immediate cost of imprisonment is deemed lower than the systemic risk of appearing fallible. This dynamic explains why wrongful convictions persist longer in some jurisdictions than others without external intervention. It is not merely about bad lawyers or lazy investigators as often portrayed in popular media. It is about how different political structures prioritize stability over accuracy when those values collide. The state calculates that a single injustice today preserves its ability to govern tomorrow, whereas admitting fault could trigger a cascade of demands for reform it cannot control. The research on fairness in road systems highlights that public cooperation depends heavily on perceived justice. When citizens believe the system is fair, they comply with rules voluntarily because they trust the outcome will be just. But when the perception shifts toward arbitrary enforcement or political manipulation, compliance becomes coerced rather than voluntary. The state must then rely more heavily on punishment to maintain order, creating a feedback loop where fear replaces consent as the primary mechanism of social control. In the specific case you are analyzing, the 13 days served by an innocent woman represent a failure not just of procedure but of political calculation. The system that allowed her imprisonment did so because it calculated that the cost of keeping her there was manageable compared to the perceived danger of admitting error. This is why comparative institutional analysis matters so much here. You cannot understand this event by looking only at the traffic laws or the police report. You must look at who benefits from a wrongful conviction and what signals are being sent to other potential challengers. The benefit of ignorance in network theory suggests that user uncertainty can paradoxically improve flow efficiency in congestible networks. In social systems, similar dynamics emerge where ambiguity about state actions creates a certain type of stability. If the public cannot predict exactly when errors will be corrected or how they will be punished, they may choose to avoid challenging authority altogether rather than risk unpredictable retaliation. This strategic silence allows flawed outcomes to persist without triggering mass unrest because no one knows if speaking up will lead to justice or further punishment. This is where the distinction between rule of law resilience and authoritarian fragility becomes critical. A resilient system absorbs shocks by correcting errors quickly, which actually strengthens its legitimacy over time. And fragile system avoids admitting faults until forced into a corner, at which point the damage often spreads rapidly because no trust has been built to absorb the shock. The 13 days of imprisonment were not just a delay in justice for one person, they were a test case for how much pressure the state could withstand before breaking its own narrative. The key insight here is that wrongful convictions are rarely random errors. They are often strategic signals sent by states operating under specific constraints and incentives. When you see such cases, ask not just what went wrong in the investigation, but why the system chose to maintain the error once it was discovered or suspected. The answer lies in the balance between short-term stability and long-term legitimacy. In systems where authority is contested, maintaining control often trumps correcting mistakes because every mistake threatens the foundation of power itself. Understanding this reframes how we view justice outcomes globally. It moves us away from moral grandstanding about individual bad actors toward a structural analysis of why states behave as they do under pressure. The woman jailed for 13 days was caught in a collision between her reality and the state's survival calculus. Her time served became data points that informed future calculations about how far power could stretch before breaking. This perspective does not excuse the injustice, but explains its persistence without external intervention. It shows why some systems self-correct while others require massive upheaval to change course. The difference is not in the quality of laws or the intelligence of officials. It is in the underlying incentives that determine whether truth serves power or threatens it. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I am a one-person team working hard to make each video better than the last. Subscribe if you found value. It is the best way to show support. Drop a comment with your biggest takeaway. See you in the next video.